So usually the morning session is kind of the session which sets the tone for the day. And I hope that you can take this mantra of Ajahn Brahm with you into your day today, for the whole day. Whatever happens in meditation, or if you're eating, or if you're resting, or if you're having a shower, if you're inundated with thoughts, or if you're just peaceful and happy and quiet, just to make peace, to be kind, and to be gentle with any experience. Because when you're able to do that, that's Ajahn Brahm's definition of meditation. When you do these three things, then you are meditating. Then your mind is inclining in that direction. And then what happens gradually is that the mind will start to settle on something. So in the beginning of meditation, it jumps all over the place. Something pops up and something else pops up, something else pops up. And our job is to calm things down, to relax, and to allow letting go to happen. Letting go is not something you do. Letting go is something which happens. If you're together with a good friend and you just really feel at ease with that person, then a lot of things can just drop away and you're fine. You speak with that person, I guess, in the beginning, you connect with the person, you build trust. But then there comes a moment where you can sit with that person or with that pet. Sometimes it's easier for people to think of a dog or a cat as a good friend, and you can just sit with that being. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to say anything. You may be, petting that pet, or you're just, sitting with that friend, looking out into nature, and you just feel comfortable. You don't have to do anything. And then if you do that long enough, the peace and the stillness will start to build, and it will start to become stronger. And you get used to it, you get comfortable in its presence, and it kind of becomes part of whatever you're doing. So often people get really confused about mindfulness. They think, I have to be mindful. But if you do that, are you being kind? Are you being gentle? Are you at peace? No, you're trying to make something happen. But if you put the causes into place and you are happy and you are relaxed and you are kind, that's when you're mindful as well. Mindfulness is naturally there. You're present. You're happy. You are still. You're just listening. You're just being. You're just perceiving. And there's still things coming and going, but you don't get swept up by them. You kind of stay with that happiness. You stay with that stillness. You stay with whatever is happening. So walking meditation, which is our next kind of exercise, if you want to talk about it in this way. Again, people get really confused about walking meditation. What exactly do I have to do? And of course, there is some helpful tips and tricks that I'll try to share with you. But even with the walking meditation, make peace, be kind, be gentle. That's the most important thing. And when you do that, then you will be able to settle on something. So in meditation, we usually settle on our bodies. We settle on the feelings of peace and stillness and calm that arise. We settle on our breathing, that is just peacefully coming in and going out. When we do walking meditation, we have a bit more activity going on. So there is the world out there, and we have our eyes open. But it's actually a very good practice to calm things down, to slow things down. So we need our senses, we need our ears, and we need our eyes to just make sure we are safe, so that we don't step on something, or that, one of the monks who was doing some work this morning doesn't come with the car and we don't hear it. So we have our senses open for that, but that's all. We don't really have to follow these sounds again too much. If there is a bird, we can just hear the bird, and then the bird stops, and once the bird stops chirping, the sound is gone. But what usually happens is we get all, oh, what kind of bird was this? And, oh, we don't have these birds in Melbourne. And then we're kind of working against again the peace. So the senses are open enough to know what's going on. So the ears are open to make sure we are safe. Or when, someone says, lunchtime, we have to go down. So you kind of hear that, but nothing else. With our eyes, we want to make sure that we see where we are stepping, that we don't step on any animals that might be around, or that we don't have any obstacles. But usually we choose a path which is straightforward and easy, where there is nothing, where it's flat. So you can do some walking meditation in here. And I think it might be a good idea if we do it this way. Sometimes when people do walking meditation in a room, one person starts and they go across the room, and then the whole room is used. So in Bodhinyana, or actually in Jhana Grove in Western Australia, they have red carpets that they put out so that people know where to walk. But I just encourage you, maybe we can have 3 or 4 people in here. And then we have another room next door where you can also have 2 people if you want to walk inside. But please feel free to, get your jackets on and your beanies. It's sunny out there, but probably still a bit cold, to go outside. And outside you also just find a spot. And it's usually good if it's maybe 10 steps, 15 steps, something like that. In here we just, there's a wall, so you can't go any further. But outside you just kind of gauge, and you maybe find, a tree or something where okay, here is where I start and here is where I stop. And then what I like to do is I like to stand at the beginning of my walking path and lower my gaze. So I'm just kind of looking maybe 2 meters in front of me, so I don't get distracted with too many things that are going on around, but I know where I'm going. And then I usually close my eyes, take a bit of time to arrive, to feel the wind, to feel my body, to be in my body. And then I open my eyes and start walking, just naturally. You don't have to walk super slow or super fast, just kind of naturally. And then you allow your awareness to settle on what is going on in your body. And the best way to do that is to focus on your feet and on your legs. So you're just feeling, not thinking about, but feeling what's going on in your feet. So you feel when they're on the ground, you feel when they're lifting and touching, lifting, touching, and then it's, one leg, the other leg, one leg. And you just try to stay and to settle on that feeling. You get to the other side of the walking path, you turn around, and then I usually take a bit of time, see, was I able to stay with just being with the feelings, or was there stuff arising and I got distracted? But no problem. Settle back in, come back to the body, and then same thing, next lap. So you're not trying to get anywhere. We're not trying to get down there. We are just going backwards and forwards, trying to build some peace, trying to build some focus. And then if you naturally slow down, that's fine. When you feel like, oh, there's so much going on, I want to walk a little bit slower to actually really feel what's going on. Please feel free to do so. But don't think you have to go in a specific speed. But try to just stay with the movement. Movement is sometimes something which is a bit easier to settle on. It's something that is going on. Just staying with the movement, one leg, other leg, one leg, other leg, and then turn around, spend a bit of time, and then walk again. Okay. Even though this is a silent retreat, it means we don't speak that is correct. So we don't burst into conversation. We don't try to, say something to someone to kind of destroy their peace. But we can smile at each other. We can still look at each other. We don't have to look away from each other, but we don't try to get too engaged. A smile is something quick and easy, and then you just look away after you smiled. So that's not gonna stay in the person's mind and create, or what is the opposite of peace? Create unpeace or destroy the peace. It will actually make them happy, and it will actually help them to get more peaceful. The most important part is just to carry the peace within you, whatever you do. If you're doing formal practice, or if you're actually walking down and trying to get somewhere. But the actual walking meditation, we're not trying to get anywhere. We are just allowing, arriving, and letting go.